back from miles, Houston.
The guys that were shooting at us...
Captured at the scene. I want a word with you, Detective.
Blackout? Now, that's going to happen for a couple of days, maybe even hallucinations, double vision and headaches. The old brain doesn't appreciate getting bashed against dashboards.
I want to hear it again.
Neither do young detectives.
I want to hear from the top.
Oh, right, look, Houston found out they were going to kill that undercover cop. Now, I didn't think we had any other choice.
Right. You didn't think. You had no guarantee that the whole thing wouldn't blow right up in your face.
Houston thought we could pull it off.
Houston doesn't earn his living as an officer of the law. You have certain responsibilities to me and the badge you carry far beyond reckless grandstanding.
Just take it easy on him, Hoyt.
You don't tell me how to do my job. I'll just suspend you.
I better go talk to him. You all right?
I'm fine.
Wait here, I'll drive you home.
No, there's no need for that. I'll give you a lift.
Thanks.
You know the kind of thing that we pulled off today? Happens maybe once in a cop's career. I mean, I stuck my neck out on the line. I showed a little initiative. What the hell do I get for that, huh? A lecture from Hoyt?
Now, don't let Hoyt rattle you.
Oh, I forgot to call the office. Next phone we get to, would you pull over?
Okay. Looks closed.
4 in the afternoon. Stay here, I'll check it out.
All right.
Put the gun down.
I've killed him. Who are you?
My name's Matt Houston.
I'm Elizabeth Sheridan.
Hand me the gun, Elizabeth.
I've killed him, haven't I?
Still a pulse.
I don't even know where I am.
Houston? Houston, what?
May have a homicide on our hands. One's dead. Where are your car keys?
Keys.
I want you to stay here. There's a man and a woman in the back room. She claims she shot him with that gun. He's wounded. I'll go get some help.
Houston, are you okay to drive? Where the hell is everybody? Homicide. Right.
So I left Marlowe with the woman, and I drove back to find you.
Did you call an ambulance?
The phone was dead.
Isn't that Marlowe over there?
What are you doing?
What am I doing? You're the one who had me stop off for a friendly beer. We're sitting at the table, we're just shooting a breeze. All of a sudden, you jump up, you take off in my car like a bat out of hell. You want to know what I'm doing?
Excuse me. I came into this place about 10 minutes ago and it was deserted.
Either you don't need any more to drink, or you got a lousy sense of direction. We've been here all afternoon.
I'm Lieutenant Michael Hart, Police Department. My friend here said he walked in on a possible homicide. He's been in a bad accident, hurt his head pretty badly. Is it possible he misconstrued something? A bar fight, maybe?
Look, White, you don't have to apologize for me. I know what I saw. The lady told me her name was Elizabeth Sheridan.
Any of you folks just killed or get killed by an Elizabeth Sheridan?
She was here. He was lying right there. She had a gun, a .38. I gave it to Marlowe.
Gun? What gun? Look, Lieutenant, I was here in this room. I didn't see any gun. I didn't see any woman or any wounded victim. And I frankly don't know what in hell Houston is talking about.
I can't believe this. Why don't you just tell him what's really going on?
I did!
Damn it, you're lying! Houston! Take it easy. Man's lying. I don't even know why.
Houston. Must be the concussion.
A colleague of mine in the company had a similar experience once. He kept seeing things that weren't there.
You know what I saw? She's very real.
Got to the point where he was sending detailed memos to an imaginary Lithuanian spy named Farrell. Accused him of starting World War II.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Uncle Roy.
This may be all in Houston's mind, but I just found the name Elizabeth Sheridan listed in the white pages of the phone directory.
Can I help you?
Morning. My name's Matt Houston. I'm looking for an Elizabeth Sheridan. I believe she lives here.
Please, come on in. Afraid my sister isn't home at the moment. My name is Michael. Well, you're staring, Mr. Houston. I might guess that your interest in my sister is personal.
I met her in a pub along the coast yesterday afternoon.
That's impossible. She's been abroad for the past 6 months. We're expecting her in the next few days. Whoever took your fancy, Mr. Houston, was definitely not my sister.
Who's this man?
That's her fiancé. They were engaged 3 months ago in France.
Sorry to have bothered you.
No bother at all. An honest, somewhat remarkable error.
Thank you.
He's the private detective that police officer told us about, isn't he?
Wasting any time finding us.
No. Nor can we in taking care of him before he unravels any more.
Bad luck for Mr. Houston.
Well, are you avoiding me, or is it always this hard for dispatch to locate you?
I've been busy.
I want to know what you saw in that pub yesterday.
I already told you.
Look, I found a woman that I saw in the pub, her family and her house. I want to know what the hell is going on.
I don't know. Look, Houston, when I walked into the back room of that pub, I didn't see anybody. No wounded man, no woman.
Suppose you didn't see the .38 caliber revolver I handed you either.
Okay, I did see the gun. Oh, look, don't press me on this, all right? I got a wife and 2 kids to support, and those people offered me so much money.
Vacate! Waterbeds Unlimited is out of business due to bank foreclosure and must vacate their warehouse now. Over $1 million in quality waterbeds and bedroom furniture has been moved to former Waterbeds Unlimited locations for immediate liquidation. Save up to 70% and more on waterbeds, soft-sided beds, kids' beds, futons, and accessories. This is an emergency. Waterbeds Unlimited must vacate their warehouse now. Hurry, don't miss this giant warehouse liquidation at all former Waterbeds Unlimited locations.
A Victorian country Christmas. There's a Christmas town of childhood dreams with sugar plums and candy creams, with carriage rides and parades where old world craftsmen work their trades. A miracle just waiting to be in a living manger nativity. Food and gifts and holiday wishes are waiting for you at Victorian Country Christmas. Walk back in time. 1 week only, A Victorian Country Christmas, November 29th through December 3rd at the Puyallup Fairgrounds.
To err is human. To cover it up is to be a kid. To handle it, DuPont Stainmaster and JB Factory Carpets. And right now, JB Factory Carpets has DuPont Stainmaster on sale from $7.95 a yard. Select from Bucastan Stainmaster was $24.50, now $12.95 a yard. And Karastan Stainmaster was $30.50, now $16.95 a yard. Hurry today to JB Factory Carpets in Burien, Bellevue, Linwood, and Tacoma.
During the holidays, folks have a tendency to get together, which is why you'll need Arby's Holidays party glasses. With their elegant holly design and 22-karat gold rim, they're perfect for all those eggnogs, treats, and toasts. So when folks get together this holiday season, make sure you have enough glasses to go around. Holidays party glasses, available only at Arby's for a special price.
Yes, you can spread holiday cheer through all the right channels. Just donate 5 cans of food and save 50% or more on installation. Over 26 great channels. Plus, get 2 months of HBO or Cinemax for the price of 1.
A reward.
My love. What's it gonna be, Nick?
We're twins. These major movies and more for just 5 cans of food. Call 1-800-89-CABLE. Happy holidays!
If you live in any of the areas listed on your screen, you may be able to receive a better picture from Channel 7 Seattle by tuning the UHF channel listed for your locality. For more information, call 728-5261.
Tell me what's going on.
Have
After you left the pub, John went back into that room. He didn't find a woman or a body. He didn't see anything at all, except 2 people who paid a flat broke cop $100,000 for the gun that gave him, and a promise to say he saw nothing.
2 people?
A man and a woman. I don't know their names. John will go to jail when the department finds out. He only did it for us. For the kid. I'm not handling this very well, am I?
What'll it be for you today, friend?
Well, I'd take a beer and some answers.
You're the guy who was in here yesterday with the cops. The guy who'd been seeing things.
Things somebody wants me to believe never happened.
Maybe you better go rest your head some more, friend.
Me, friend. I just saw a man gunned down because he knew too much about what happened in here yesterday, so you better start talking to me before I lose my temper, friend.
Hey, it was just somebody playing a little gag on a buddy, that's all. Had everybody slip out the back for a few minutes.
Who's this somebody?
Michael Sheridan.
Customers always do what Michael Sheridan wants them to.
Usually, he owns a place, besides which he's very popular. Folks see him as a real hero.
What kind of hero?
A kind who spent lots of time abroad. Ireland, for instance, as a freedom fighter.
Freedom fighter? Sounds more like a euphemism for radical or terrorist.
I need a full background on this Michael Sheridan. And doesn't Uncle Roy have a friend?
Yes, Lloyd Hodgkins. He's stationed here at the British consulate.
Right, and the specialty is radical terrorist groups. Have Uncle Roy get a hold of Lloyd and pull his file on this Michael Sheridan. Meet me at Chucky's 1 o'clock.
You got it.
Michael Sheridan, smile of an angel, deadly as the devil himself.
A young woman with him?
His sister, Elizabeth. They are the son and daughter and sole heirs of Mr. Arthur Sheridan, an American millionaire with holdings all over the world. His car went off the cliff during a business trip to England. That photograph was taken at the funeral.
I remember something about this incident. It seemed like the brakes had been tampered with. The killer was never found.
A suspect was Michael.
You mean he killed his own father?
For the money, we thought, but he didn't inherit a bloody thing. It all went to the sister, Elizabeth.
Michael was cut out of the will?
Arthur Sheridan sent his son to a university in England. But what did the dear boy do? Our Michael took up with some radicals. The only cause Arthur Sheridan believed in was good old capitalism. And he'd be damned if he'd see his fortune fuel the fires set by his son's newfound friends, particularly this one. Deborah O'Malley, now Mrs. Michael Sheridan. She's the one who got Michael involved with terrorists in the first place.
Is Michael still a suspect in his father's death?
Oh, indeed, yes, but the evidence is wholly circumstantial.
What about Elizabeth?
Conspicuously reclusive ever since her father's death. There have been rumors of a marriage. Why?
Well, if your initial instincts are correct, and he wants that money if he killed his father, he might kill his sister next. Just try and relax, Uncle Roy. I already phoned ahead to our friendly neighborhood terrorists. They're out for the afternoon.
I still think it's an awful risk, boy.
Maybe so, but it's the only way to get to Elizabeth Sheridan.
I'm sorry to bother you, young lady, but I just had to stop and ask.
Ask what?
I hope you don't think I'm too forward, but I was wondering whether I could have a cutting from your Africanus gingolus.
My what?
Africanus gingolus. It's virtually extinct, but yours are the most beautiful I've ever seen.
Oh.
You see, I'm a botanist, and the very thought of having my own gingolus raised, well, I'd given up hope years ago. Remarkably free of aphis. What kind of spray do you use? Smell that fragrance. I could just hug the whole plant. I'll tell you what we do, young lady. You ask the man of the house if I may have a cutting, and I will drop by tomorrow for the answer, and if the answer is yes, I'm the kind of man that knows how to show appreciation.
I remember you. Or was I dreaming that?
It's not a dream. I'm gonna get you out of here.
That's romantic. No. You don't understand. I murdered someone.
I think that your brother just wants you to believe that you have.
My brother, no. Michael is very good to me. He stopped them from putting me in prison.
I can prove to you that I'm right. But you have to come with me, all right? Lady. Michael Sheridan just drove up.
That's Houston's car.
I remember seeing a ledge in a trellis.
Upstairs.
Hurry up. First, I'd better go take care of our host.
He did.
Okay, just take it one step at a time and don't look down.
I wish there was a quicker way down.
I wish you hadn't said that.
Don't ask.
All in good time. The spider, in order to be successful, must first spin the perfect web.
Next time traffic gets a little crazy and you'd like to know what's going on, think of this. When the Department of Transportation wants to check conditions on the reversible lanes, they call Paul Brendel in the Chirocopter. And when the State Patrol wants traffic information, they turn to Paul Brendel in the Chirocopter. In fact, Paul is the only traffic reporter on their radio network. So if you'd like to know what's happening before it happens to you, get it from the source. Paul Brendel Traffic Reports, only on Cairo News Radio 71.
To err is human. To cover it up is to be a kid. To handle it, DuPont Stainmaster and JB Factory Carpets. And right now, JB Factory Carpets has DuPont Stainmaster on sale from $7.95 a yard. Select from Bucastan Stainmaster was $24.50, now $12.95 a yard. And Karastan Stainmaster was $30.50, now $16.95 a yard. Hurry today to JB Factory Carpets in Burien, Bellevue, Linwood, and Tacoma.
Right now, Glen Grant Chevrolet is having the biggest, the greatest, one-price sale ever held on a group of used 1989 Corsicas purchased through General Motors. Not $12,000 or more, but now all one price, $79.97. $3.99 down and only $159 a month. All have air, automatic, and much more. They're going like hotcakes at one price, $79.97, $3.99 down and only $159 a month. So hurry today to Glen Grant Chevrolet.
Your big-hearted Chevy dealer in Burien.
Take a look at commentary. Now, take another look.
Cairo Eyewitness News on Channel 7 has more commentaries.
So you can make up your own mind.
Trade deficit boils down to simple arithmetic.
We look at all sides.
With respected Northwest experts, Cairo commentaries mean better explanations. And that means a better newscast at 5.
The best local newscast. Eyewitness News at 5 with Gary Justice and Susan Hutchison.
Years from now, she may dance with what is known to be one of the finest ballet companies in the world. Come, see the magic that happens 22,000 hours later.
The lab confirmed that they've been injecting you with morphine.
The operative expression is gaslighting. It's a brainwashing technique.
Weakening someone psychologically and then convincing them that they've done something horrific.
Like murdering my fiancé.
And now that leverage is used to get the victim to do whatever the brainwasher wants.
And your brother wants your money, Elizabeth. Now, has he asked you to sign any legal documents lately?
I seem to recall signing something.
Probably the power of attorney over your entire estate in the event that you become mentally incapacitated.
But if what you say is true and he murdered Father, why wouldn't he just kill me?
If you were murdered, your brother would have been a prime suspect.
So instead, he used drugs to brainwash you and planned to have you committed.
And so get his hands on your father's fortune. I think I'll call CJ and have her bring over some clothes for you, young lady.
Thank you. It's a nice view.
I was thinking the same thing myself. I always have this dream. I mean, not every night, but at least every other night. And there's this woman. Very special woman. When I wake up, I try and remember her face, but I can't.
Why are you telling me this?
Because from the moment we met in that pub, I realized that woman is you. Only I'm not dreaming now.
Why don't we just get out of this bloody country while we can?
There's just one problem. My sister still has the Sheridan fortune.
But she's with Houston.
Don't worry. I've got an idea. I'm going to call her fiancé, Peter Kincaid. I'm going to make a small adjustment in the original design.
Settled in here, and then I'll bunk downstairs on the couch. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. You're not very good at making beds.
There's a lot of things I'm not very good at.
Such as?
Telling a woman how I feel about her.
That's a surprise. What did you say in your dream?
We never spoke. We never had to. I've never felt like this before.
If it's any help, neither have I.
Elizabeth. Maybe after all you've been through, we should just take it slow.
Well, I'd hate to interrupt you, but I'd like to buy the two of you a drink. How about an Irish whiskey?
Get dressed.
Move it. Slow and easy. Deborah, take Houston.
Hello, Michael.
Peter, good to see you.
Hello, Elizabeth.
She killed him.
Stay away from me.
She's killed him.
Don't let him get away.
Hold on.
Call the cops.
Houston, don't do that.
I'm sorry, I thought you might be somebody else.
There's an APB out on both of you. Michael Sheridan gave a very convincing and condemning performance. Where's Elizabeth?
She's sleeping. She's had a tough few days.
She's had a tough few months. I hate to say it, but I think Sheridan may have come up with the perfect frame. A pub full of people who say they saw Elizabeth shoot Peter.
He killed my father, and now he might as well have killed me.
It's not over yet, Elizabeth.
Meeting you. possibilities. It was as if something inside of me came alive for the first time. Now it's impossible.
You listen to me. There is nothing that's going to kill what happened between us. I promise you that. Won't you just stay here, rest up a bit? I may have found a way to beat your brother at his own game.
Matt, I love you.
Right now, you'll get gigantic, spectacular savings at your Northwest Chrysler Plymouth dealers during their big savings extravaganza. Get up to $750 cash back on the all-new 1990 Chrysler LeBaron Coupe with available 3-liter V6 power, driver's side airbag safety, and 770 protection. The best powertrain warranty in the business. Now's the time to save big on LeBaron. So hurry, buy or lease one at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer today. They're the Northwest's way to go.
Did your mother ever flirt with your boyfriend?
On the next Donahue, what happens when your mother takes away your lover?
My mother has said to me, I married him because he was a terrible person, and I wanted to get him away from you.
Have you ever said, Mom, how could you? And when it happens, does it make you feel bad?
That's worse than that fella. It destroyed my life.
When your mother steals your lover, next Donahue.
Monday at 4 on Channel 7. It's the Huxtable's greatest hits.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now.
Timeless love songs. Heartwarming duets. And family classics. Every weeknight, the Huxtable's greatest hits. Right here on Cairo TV, Channel 7.
What you are watching is called free television. It's part of a system born 50 years ago that is unlike any other in the world. Through your free TV window, you've been witness to triumph and tragedy, to love, laughter, learning, life. It's offered free to all, even the cable systems that carry it. Imagine the impact if it were gone. Join us in the coming months as we celebrate and stand watch over free TV.
If cleaning your drapes is like a tag team battle royal and your drapes are winning, it's time to put the experts at Eldon Drapery Cleaners in your corner. Eldon Drapery Cleaners provide a convenient pickup and delivery service as early as 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. And for a limited time, take advantage of their 35% off on all lined and unlined drapery cleaning. So when you're ready to take your drapes down for the count, remember Eldon Drapery Cleaners, serving King, Pierce, and Snohomish counties for over 15 years.
There you are. You and your husband are confirmed on flight 731 to Dublin, connecting to Belfast, open return.
Thank you.
Leaving the country?
Come on, man.
Since you're in a traveling mood, we thought you wouldn't mind a little side trip.
Deborah, the British government has enough evidence on your terrorist activities to put you away for the rest of your life.
Which may not be very long, considering the fact that you would be an Irish terrorist in a British prison.
You're all daft.
I could serve you with papers on 4 counts of terrorism and 2 counts of conspiracy to commit murder right here and now. The only reason I haven't is because it's your husband we want, not you.
We know that Michael hired a man to rig the brakes on his father's car. You're going to give us the name of the man, where we can locate him.
His testimony will give us the evidence we need to prove that your husband arranged his own father's death.
I have no part of it. Besides, the law protects wives from testifying against their husbands.
Which is precisely why you're going to give us the name of the man who rigged the brakes.
Never. What kind of person do you think I am?
The kind of person who will do whatever it takes to survive.
Mr. Sheridan, sir? There was a telephone call.
Hello, Mrs. H. I take it my brother's out?
No, ma'am. I mean, yes, ma'am. He's out for just a bit.
Well, we'll wait upstairs for him then. To help us run that bluff on Deborah was a stroke of genius.
Desperate means for desperate men. It was nice of Hoyt to put a tail on her so we know where she'd be. Glad she fell for it.
Is she asleep? Houston?
She's gone. She's taking your gun with her. She probably figures it's the only way to stop her brother.
I'll call Hoyt. If she kills her own brother in cold blood, there's not much any of us can do.
Something I can do, CJ. I can stop her, or I can help her get away.
You don't know what you're doing, miss. I choose not to think about it.
Mrs. Hollingsworth?
Into the closet, please.
I'm not as good at this as you are, Michael. I'm not a very good shot at all, really, so if you want this to go quickly, send...
Liz, think about what you're doing.
I think the time for talking is long past. I think if we start talking, somehow you'll get me to feel guilty for this. To feel sorry for you.
Liz, I'm unarmed! You can't shoot at an unarmed man.
You killed Father. You murdered him and never felt the slightest bit of regret.
No!
Elizabeth, please don't do it.
Listen to Liz.
Deborah talked to us. She gave us enough information that we can convict him of arranging your father's murder. If you kill him, you're going to sacrifice everything. Don't do it.
Add enjoyment and value to your home. Call the remodeling helpline, 1-800-648-BIDS. A through Z improvements for your home. Receive free an estimate from a quality contractor. Free important financing information. Free helpful information on remodeling and products will be mailed to you. Make your dreams come true. Reynolds, a name you know and trust, introduces Craftmark vinyl siding. Protect, beautify, and never paint your home again. For free estimates and information, call 1-800-648-BIDS.
Take a look at first. Now, take another look.
At Channel 7, first means Cairo Eyewitness News at 5.
First, with breaking news every day.
First on the scene.
A few minutes ago, they issued their first statement on telling you how the news affects your life. If you're asked to call your local Red Cross...
You can count on Cairo to cover stories first. Our track record proves it.
The best local newscast, Cairo Eyewitness News.
Hi, I'm Ted Zakalakis. I was just filling in the mailroom of this big Hollywood talent agency. You
can barely handle that.
Then this Hollywood fluke thing happened. All of a sudden, the world's biggest star wants me to be his agent. Overnight, I'm famous.
Overnight, I'm his secretary.
Overnight, I'm out my biggest client. But I've got one little problem.
He's got one big problem.
A tragic flaw. I have no idea what an agent does. I do.
The Famous Teddy Z, Mondays on CBS.
Did your mother ever flirt with your boyfriend? On the next Donahue, what happens when your mother takes away your lover?
My mother has said to me, I married him because he was a terrible person, and I wanted to get him away from you.
Have you ever said, Mom, how could you? And when it happens, does it make you feel bad?
That's worse than that fella. It destroyed my life.
When your mother steals your lover, next Donahue.
Monday at 4 on Channel 7.
Vacate! Vacate! Waterbeds Unlimited is out of business due to bank foreclosure and must vacate their warehouse now. Over $1 million in quality waterbeds and bedroom furniture has been moved to former Waterbeds Unlimited locations for immediate liquidation. Save up to 70% and more on waterbeds, soft-sided beds, kids' beds, futons, and accessories. This is an emergency. Waterbeds Unlimited must vacate their warehouse now. Hurry, don't miss this giant warehouse liquidation at all former Waterbeds Unlimited locations.
Seattle's best mix of music, the new KC 101. Turn to Seattle's official at-work radio station, the new KC 101.
Is this what you've been waiting all night to give me?
No. My father gave me this ring when I was a little girl. It's a family heirloom, antique gold. He told me to hide it away and keep it safe until the right person came along.
Sounds like you were very close.
We were. And I know that he'd approve of what I've decided to do with my life. What I've decided to do is to marry you.
Oh. Well, were you going to ask me first? There's nothing in the world that would make me happier. Elizabeth, you've been through so much pain in the last 6 months. I don't know if what you're feeling is real or just rebound. Neither do you.
So what are you saying?
I think you ought to go away for a little while. Find out if this is what you really want.
And if it's you?
I'm not going anywhere.
How long?
You'll know how long.
love you.
I love you too. See you in my dreams.
Sizzler introduces the all-you-can-eat triple shrimp combo. Crunchy golden fried shrimp, tangy shrimp cocktail, and savory Cajun shrimp.
Can I have more of just the fried shrimp?
Yes.
Can I have more shrimp cocktail?
Sure.
Just Cajun shrimp?
Yeah.
Good. I'll take all three.
Sizzler's new all-you-can-eat triple shrimp combo. As much as you want of what you want. For a limited time only at Sizzler.
I have just the thing for that cold.
Most kids think that medicine has to taste bad. But there's one cold medicine that relieves both kids and colds. Dimetap. Grape-flavored Dimetap elixir. Recommended millions of times by pediatricians and pharmacists. After all, a cold medicine can't work if you can't get it down.
I like Dimetap.
Grape-flavored Dimetap elixir. It relieves kids as well as colds.
Explore the world of holiday shopping at the University Bookstore. To score big with Husky fans, choose gifts from our Husky Highlights department. Entertain the kids with classic tales and modern adventures, games and puzzles, arts and crafts. Discover the world of books and maps for adventurers and armchair travelers. With free gift wrapping and free parking, your holiday shopping has a happy ending at the University Bookstore in Seattle's U District and downtown Bellevue.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Wilkins for North Seattle Chrysler Plymouth. Voyager continues to be America's #1 selling family wagon. Why do I like my Voyager? It's versatile, with lots of seating or cargo space. And I kind of like sitting in the high back seats with a commanding view of the road. We have the largest selection of Voyagers and Grand Voyagers in the state. Come in and see for yourself. Value, quality, service, and integrity. North Seattle Chrysler Plymouth. And remember, they won't be undersold.
Details from the Superpower Summit in Malta at 6.
Up next on Health Matters, Alzheimer's disease.
We ought to consider it as the 3rd or 4th leading cause of death in this country.
Learn the hardship it creates for families and how they cope.
We get my husband up and wash him, dress him, and feed him his breakfast.
Visit a support group for the families of Alzheimer's patients.
When we eat at the table, she's like a little baby.
Their judgment gets bad, and you can't reason with them.
Learn what is being done to find the cause of this mysterious disease. And later in the broadcast, a roundup of medical news and health tips from the Health Newswire. All that next. Health Matters is brought to you by Northwest Hospital, Seattle's source for important medical news and health information. We're proud to present a program designed to help you develop and maintain a healthier lifestyle. At Northwest Hospital, we're yours for life.
Hello, I'm Mickey Flowers, and welcome to Health Matters. The story of Alzheimer's disease is more than the story of a patient and his illness. It's the story of an intense family struggle. Our program today begins with a profile of a man who has Alzheimer's and his family. It's also a profile of courage and the durability of love.
One evening, he was driving, And we were coming down the highway, and all at once he just stopped. And he didn't know where he was. So I just had to talk to him, and I kept talking quietly to him, and he began to move on down the highway. And we went 3 or 4 blocks down the highway, and he passed where we would turn off to go home. And I said, honey, aren't you going to go home? And he said, well, where? So then I knew there was really something more wrong than just a little bit of forgetfulness.
Something more indeed. Something that erases memory, personality, language, eventually life itself. Something called Alzheimer's, a disease which can shatter its victims, wipe out their savings, and enslave their families. That's what happened to Ted and Bernice Bradford. Ted Bradford is in the latter stages of Alzheimer's.
I usually get up around 6 o'clock. Then my granddaughter comes at 8. And we get my husband up and wash him and dress him and feed him his breakfast. Sometimes he'll feed himself and sometimes he won't. If not, we feed him. Try it. I shave him. My daughter Catherine gives him a haircut, about twice a week. And we keep him groomed. We all live close together. We have made him the center of our life.
Things used to be very different for Ted and Bernice. In their 30 years together, they worked their own farm side by side, began a water delivery service, and ran a dry goods store.
We kept the store through 1975. Then we didn't sell the business. My husband was having a little difficulty at that time with his memory.
The Bradfords retired then and moved into town. It was there that Ted's little difficulty took on disturbing dimensions.
He began to annoy the neighbors, and he would crawl over the fence and run away. And he wouldn't want to get in the car and come back with me. He was confused and lost.
There was good reason to diagnose Alzheimer's disease on the basis of clinical evidence.
Neurologist Leonard Berg is Ted's physician.
He had no evidence of damage to any individual part of the brain, but rather his performance was that of a person whose intellectual failure was widespread, covered many different aspects of intellectual function.
We don't know what causes it. We don't know how to treat it or cure it.
Psychologist Warren Danziger is a researcher who specializes in the study of aging.
We know that we've got something going on with the brain, and people are exploring different avenues. So one of the things that makes the research difficult, if I can jump a little bit, is that there is no animal model. We're dealing with a human being, and you can't just go in and take an area of brain and so forth.
So scientists are forced to rely on tissue from autopsies.
In Alzheimer's disease, the many nerve cells in the outer portion of the brain that is called the cortex of the brain develop abnormal structures called tangles. And the second hallmark of the disorder is what's called a plaque. These are all the end branches of neurons. They are swollen and distorted. It is a fatal disease, recognizing that it leads to profound disability, which then results in pneumonia as the terminal complication. But we ought to consider it as the 3rd or 4th leading cause of death in this country.
There is no curative treatment for this disease. At best, medication can control the patient's mood.
He's totally unable to care for himself. He's beginning to waste away, as happens to many people in the advanced stages of Alzheimer's disease. So he now is 73 years old, and he's had the disease for somewhere between 7 and 10 years. And Mrs. Bradford is still bearing up under the enormous problems, both physical and emotional, that the disorder entails.
Bernice is bearing up, but it has been anything but easy.
And after about 3 years of day and night care, I was frustrated because I still wouldn't accept the fact that you couldn't get help. I was angry at at the progress of the disease and the difference it was making in him, the devastation it was bringing to this once so really vibrant, alive person. It just wasn't fair.
The brain just isn't giving them the proper messages, and so as caregivers we have to start telling them, you know, wait, this is how much you eat and no more.
Alzheimer's is a family affliction. Bernice needed help too. She found it in an Alzheimer's support group among others who carried the same burden.
When we eat at the table, she's like a little baby. She spreads her food on the table, smears it around with her fingers even, if we let her, or she'll put part of the food in somebody else's plate.
That is one of the hardest things to take, change in personality.
What kind of changes did you note with your husband?
Their judgment gets bad, and you can't reason with them.
She's went down so far, she's back in her childhood days, where she ain't married or anything. She's just like going back to school or something.
Our life is very different now. He is no longer able to get up and around, and he has to have 24-hour-a-day care.
Sometimes the burden gets too heavy. The alternative, dreaded by most, a nursing home.
If you'd like to join us for bingo this afternoon, please come to the dining room.
They can't believe that someone they love is going to have to live other than in their own homes.
Nursing home administrator Catherine Bono.
It's trauma and disbelief and not wanting to handle the situation, and they're being forced into it. This is something they don't want. You know, we're not offering something that people want. This is something they have to do.
But Catherine Bono believes that a well-run nursing home does have real advantages for the Alzheimer's patient.
Getting her up every day, Kate gets her hair all fixed.
I think that in a protected, controlled environment, they will decline slower. You want to make sure you're talking to them as though they were just as mentally alert as you and I are today. The thing that we would do better is protect this patient on a 24-hour-a-day basis in a very stable atmosphere. At home, there are family commitments that the husband and wife must make. There becomes a stress within that family to care for this person. When we're here, our shifts change every 8 hours, and we can walk away from it and go home and refresh ourselves in our family atmospheres. We can offer 24 hours of protection that in a very low-stress atmosphere and a controlled environment that can't be offered at home.
There is one stress a nursing home won't solve, financial stress, and that affects more than just the family.
One trip for medical help cost us $18,000, and I believe I haven't really kept just really close track, but I know it's cost me over $60,000 already for, you know, trying to track down help for him. It's all the savings it has taken.
We have estimates that the national budget cost of Alzheimer's disease is about $30 billion per year. We can break that down into $10 billion per year that it costs to maintain the Alzheimer's disease population in the nursing home. And then the $20 billion has to do with loss of productivity of the individual and his or her family members.
Alzheimer's has been called the funeral that never ends. It is more. It is a challenge to medical science. It is a drain on the resources of family and society. It may be the ultimate test of love.
I love you. Can I have another smooch? Are you stingy? Give me a smooch.
I loved him when I married him, and just because he was sick didn't mean I didn't love him any longer. Sorry. He's still the same person, and he's no different than if he had polio or was hurt in a car accident whatever. He would take care of me.
This is Hollis Phillips reporting.
Since the story you've just seen was taped, Ted Bradford has died. For him and his family, the struggle is over. We'll talk about where you can find help in coping with this disease when we come back.
For a free fact sheet that outlines some of the early symptoms of Alzheimer's disease, write to Alzheimer's Disease in care of Health Matters, Northwest Hospital, 1550 North 115th Street in Seattle. That's Alzheimer's Disease in care of Health Matters, Northwest Hospital, 1550 North 115th Street, Seattle, Washington, 98133. Or you can call them at 206-633-4636. We'll repeat this address for you later in the program.
Right now, Glen Grant Chevrolet is having the biggest, the greatest one-price sale ever held on a group of used 1989 Corsicas purchased through General Motors. Not $12,000 or more, but now all one price, $79.97, $399 down and only $159 a month. All have air, automatic, and much more. They're going like hotcakes at one price, $79.97, $399 down and only $159 a month. So hurry today to Glen Grant Chevrolet.
Your big-hearted Chevy dealer in Burien.
This is the whole idea behind this. New Robitussin DM cough relief in single doses. Now, you can take it with you. Most nighttime cold medicines have 25% alcohol, but you can get relief without the alcohol. With new Robitussin Night Relief in cherry flavor for children and adults. All the relief without the alcohol.
Did your mother ever flirt with your boyfriend? On the next Donahue, what happens when your mother takes away your lover?
My mother has said to me, I married him because he was a terrible person, and I wanted to get him away from you.
Have you ever said, Mom, how could you?
And when it happens, does it make you feel bad?
That's worse than that fell. It destroyed my life.
When your mother steals your lover, next Donahue.
Monday at 4 on Channel 7. Take a look at health. Now, take another look.
On Cairo Eyewitness News at 5, health means specialist Mickey Flowers.
When a dangerous whooping cough epidemic in Snohomish County threatened to spread, Mickey was the first to get the word out and help stop the disease.
At Channel 7, we want you to stay healthy with news you can feel good about. It's what you expect from the best local newscast.
Eyewitness News at 5 with Gary Justice and Susan Hutchison.
Welcome back to Health Matters. We're talking about Alzheimer's today. It can be a nightmare for families. And here to help us discuss how families can cope with this disease are two specialists from Northwest Hospital. Dr. Sarah Goodland, who's in geriatric medicine at Northwest Hospital, and Dr. Robert Haining in adult medicine at Northwest Hospital. Dr. Goodland, how does a family know that they're actually dealing with Alzheimer's? There's so many symptoms out there that could be mistaken for something else, and often are. And is it denial, or how do we know?
Well, that's a tough question. There are many different causes of memory loss in older people, and not all of them are Alzheimer's by any means. It's appropriate to find out what the reason for memory loss is. Memory loss is not a normal occurrence of aging. Memory loss usually represents a problem, either strokes, medication side effects, hormonal imbalances. Alzheimer's disease certainly is one cause. Depression can cause memory loss. Vitamin deficiencies can occasionally cause memory loss. So the first step is really to see their physician and have a thorough physical examination and make sure that those things are checked. There are more sophisticated tests that can be done. Usually we include a CAT scan, an X-ray of the brain to evaluate for other treatable causes of memory loss. And also often we do more formal psychological testing. Often I refer patients to a neuropsychologist for formal testing to try to sort out whether someone truly has Alzheimer's disease or whether it represents another cause of memory loss.
Once you know that that's the verdict. What's out there to help families cope? What's in our area that can help families cope with this very devastating disease?
It's appropriate for them to have a physician they're comfortable dealing with. But then there are a lot of other issues that come up, from financial to the film indicated some of the difficulty they have just dealing with somebody who needs a lot of hands-on help. It's a very stressful experience for any family to go through, and it's why the Alzheimer's Association, of which there's a local chapter here, was formed nationally.
Is this brand new?
Oh, it's been around about 10 years, actually.
But we don't hear much about it. It's not like the Cancer Society or the Heart Association.
Well, it's been there. As a matter of fact, one of the original groups started here is known as ASSIST, and formed the national group. But they have groups that meet all around Puget Sound, and most people find that an enormously helpful way to learn how to deal with the disease, because it's very different from family to family.
In fact, we have a number that we're going to put on our screen for our viewers so they'll know how to get in touch with the Alzheimer's Association. There you see it on the screen. What kinds of services can they offer in terms of support?
Well, it's difficult to deal with. They need to learn how to deal with financial services. There's going to be changes in the law because of the new Medicare law this year. It's very important for families to know about that, to get a durable power of attorney early on in the illness. Learning how to deal with the different behavior problems, which can be rampant, getting up at night, striking out, running away, or not doing anything, the reverse. Having increased appetite, or they can't get them to eat, having problems with dressing, having problems with inappropriate elimination. They go all over the place, and they're all different for different families. I remember one support group meeting where a lady was telling about her husband, how he constantly ran away, and she had to have the police bring him back and what have you, and the gentleman across the table said, well, my wife, it's just the reverse. I just turn around and there she is. She follows him everywhere. Out the house, he says, I call her my American Express card. I can't leave home without her.
Let me interrupt you for a moment because we need to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about what kind of supports are available to people and about treatment. Also coming up, we'll have headlines from the Health Newswire.
The race to the record is on at Doug Goodwin Mazda.
The all-new Protégé has been one of our greatest success stories, and Doug has special sale prices on every one of them, which means they're selling like crazy.
But Doug also has a special order of 60, count them 60, brand new 626s that are also selling like crazy.
To keep sales rolling, Doug is giving a minimum of $3,000 on your trade when you buy a 626.
That's like having zero down.
So join the crowd and race to the sales record.
D-O-U-G-S, Doug's got the deal for you.
To err is human. To cover it up is to be a kid. To handle it, DuPont Stainmaster and JB Factory Carpets. And right now, JB Factory Carpets has DuPont Stainmaster on sale from $7.95 a yard. Select from Bucastan Stainmaster was $24.50, now $12.95 a yard. And Karastan Stainmaster was $30.50, now $16.95 a yard. Hurry today to JB Factory Carpets in Burien, Bellevue, Linwood, and Tacoma.
Next time traffic gets a little crazy and you'd like to know what's going on, think of this. When the Department of Transportation wants to check conditions on the reversible lanes, they call Paul Brendel in the Chirocopter. And when the State Patrol wants traffic information, they turn to Paul Brendel in the Chirocopter. In fact, Paul is the only traffic reporter on their radio network. So if you'd like to know what's happening before it happens to you, get it from the source. Paul Brendel Traffic Reports, only on Cairo News Radio 71.
It's the Huxtable's greatest hits.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now.
Timeless love songs. Heartwarming duets. And family classics. Every weeknight, the Huxtable's greatest hits. Right here on Cairo TV, Channel 7.
Welcome back to our discussion of Alzheimer's disease today on Health Matters. Dr. Haining, when we went to break, we were talking about support systems for families and for patients. What kind of medications are on the market that could actually make this a time that is easier for the patient and for the family? I suppose that's more a question for you, Dr. Goodwin.
Well, for me or for any one of a number of different specialists, because there are many different types of specialists that deal with Alzheimer's disease. Psychiatrists see patients with Alzheimer's disease, neurologists do, family practitioners, people who have special interests, as Dr. Haining and I do, also see patients with Alzheimer's disease. There are medications available to alter behavior and to help manage patients. And it's important that families with families of Alzheimer's patients recognize that there are physicians who can help them manage their family member at home if that becomes necessary, or if the person doesn't stay at home in a nursing home setting.
Just how much can families expect these medications to do?
There really are no medications that can effectively stop the progression of Alzheimer's disease. There are no medications as of yet that have been proven to even slow the progression, although there are several being studied now, and there's some hopeful studies. But medications that I'm talking about are mainly directed at controlling the behavior problems and the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. Problems like wandering, sleeplessness, agitation, problems like being sleepy during the day and awake all night. That sort of thing can be controlled with medications and make the family member's life more tolerable, or if the person happens to be in a nursing home, make them fit better into the routine of the nursing home and be able to gain more from that experience.
When does a family give up trying to take care of this problem in a home setting and turn to a nursing home?
Well, that's a very difficult question, and it's different for each family. And it depends on the particular problems, but generally the person progresses through minor forgetfulness, through the not knowing how to do physical skills such as tie their shoes or put on their clothes, to increasing physical debility. And the gentleman we saw in the clip was at about that stage. And from there on, they need people to lift them, to bathe them, to toilet them, and that's often more than a small spouse can do for a big man. And it pretty much necessitates some other kind of care unless there are other people who live at home. So pretty much most people are going to wind up in a nursing home, and that's a very tough decision for families to make.
Is that a time to turn to a support group? Because many of the families are going to experience guilt. Right.
Guilt is a very difficult, pervasive thing with Alzheimer's. A support group is helpful way before that.
Likewise, planning for financially and planning for legal issues is very important and should be done early on. Once someone knows that their family member has Alzheimer's disease, they really ought to see their attorney, see a social worker, get some advice so that they can plan. It can be devastating financially, as in the gentleman in the story that we saw.
One of the things we hear about are things to avoid. Aluminum cans. Any validity to that? Drinking out of aluminum cans.
Aluminum cans have not been shown to cause Alzheimer's disease, and there actually is no known cause. There are no ways to prevent Alzheimer's disease that have been found, and there really are not any things that have been identified that should be avoided, unfortunately.
Well, I think you have given us some hope here today, and thank you both for joining us. And now compiled from medical journals, reports, and research centers across the nation, news items and health tips on the Health Newswire.
Cloudy contacts. The Journal of the American Medical Association reports if you find your soft contact lenses clouding up, you may be wearing them too long at a time. Soft contacts need to be removed at regular intervals and soaked in solutions made for that purpose. If it's not done, deposits from tears will build up on the surface of the lenses. That buildup will continue, making your contacts more and more difficult to see through. Flu vaccine. What's the best month to get a flu shot? According to the Journal of the American Medical Association, it's November. That's because the immunity you get from a flu shot lasts only for a few months. If you get vaccinated in September, you won't be protected from a flu outbreak in the spring. And since flu epidemics don't usually surface in early autumn, getting vaccinated in November is your best bet to beat the bug. raw seafood. It's getting riskier to visit your favorite sushi bar. A study from the University of Texas reports raw fish and shellfish are increasingly laced with bacteria from sewage in offshore contaminated waters. If fish isn't cooked enough, bacteria can survive. The bacteria can invade brain and muscle tissue, causing pain and convulsions. Experts say, to stay healthy, don't eat any uncooked or undercooked fish and seafood. And that's all from the Health News Wire.
We'll be back in a moment to tell you about next week's program, so stay with us.
For a free fact sheet about Alzheimer's disease, write to Health Matters, Northwest Hospital, 1550 North 115th Street in Seattle. Or you can call them at 206-633-4636.
Next time on Health Matters, a look at that sudden, often savage attack on the brain we call stroke. What it is, how it is treated, what steps we can take to avoid it. Thanks for watching. I'm Mickey Flowers. Join us again next time, because health matters.
Health Matters has been brought to you by Northwest Hospital, Seattle's source for important medical news and health information. We're proud to present a program designed to help you develop and maintain a healthier lifestyle. At Northwest Hospital, we're yours for life.
On the new KC 101, you'll hear Seattle's best mix of music.
Turn on your heart light. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I love you just the way you are. And I'd do anything for you.
And on the new KC 101, we always play at least 4 songs in a row with no talk. Turn to Seattle's official at-work radio station, the new KC 101.
Books cost too much, so I opened Crown Books. Now you'll never have to pay full price again. We have over 10,000 books. Ken Follett's towering tale of turmoil in medieval England, Pillars of the Earth, just $14.92. Simple, inspiring, profound. Robert Fulgham's It Was on Fire When I Lay Down on It, just $11.67. So remember, if you paid full price, you didn't buy it at Crown Books.
You know, I've made a lot of great catches, but maybe none as great as the catch you can make on a new car from your Northwest Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Get a fantastic reception in a Plymouth Voyager with power-assisted rack and pinion steering, front-wheel drive, available room for 7 passengers, and easy step-up access. Catch a great car now and see why your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers are the Northwest way to go. See your Northwest Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
A woman is thrown through a second-story window in Seattle. More at 6.
We're heading down under on a visit to Aussie country, then a trip to the American Southwest. That's next on the AAA World of Travel. This is like walking back into the Victorian era. Hello again, I'm Cheryl Hansen. Welcome to the AAA World of Travel. And we've taken a little road trip this evening down south to Puyallup, and we're visiting the Meeker Mansion. This place was once the home of a famous Northwest pioneer, Ezra Meeker. In fact, it's about 100 years old, and there's been a lot of restoration that's taken place here. We'll show you around the mansion this evening, but first, we'd like to tell you about some of the other travel destinations we plan to visit. Now, we'll be touring to the American Southwest to some sunny destinations. Then it's up to British Columbia's Valley of 1,000 Peaks, the BC Rockies. And when we come back, we're Australia bound, so stay with us.
The AAA World of Travel is brought to you by AAA Travel Agency, the world's largest travel agency, by Holland America Cruises, by Alaska Airlines, by Tourism BC, and by Pacific First Federal Savings Bank.
In the beginning, there was dirt. Then there was Ford. And it was good. Then Fords became the best-selling four-wheel drives in the Northwest 8 years running. And that was very good.
This is the whole idea behind this. New Robitussin DM Cough Relief in single doses. Now you can take it with you. Most nighttime cold medicines have 25% alcohol, but you can get relief without the alcohol. With new Robitussin Night Relief in cherry flavor for children and adults. All the relief without the alcohol.
Did your mother ever flirt with your boyfriend? On the next Donahue, what happens when your mother takes away your lover?
My mother has said to me, I married him because he was a terrible person, and I wanted to get him away from you.
Have you ever said, Mom, how could you?
And when it happens, does it make you feel bad?
That's worse than that fella. It destroyed my life.
When your mother steals your lover, next Donahue.
Monday at 4 on Channel 7.
Ezra Meeker and his wife Eliza Jane were quite the travelers. We're told they spent a lot of time touring Europe. In fact, this is one of the dresses that Eliza Jane wore on many of their trips. You know, I'd be willing to wager that if old Ezra were around right now, he would really enjoy all the destinations we show you in the AAA World of Travel, and I think he'd really like our next spot, Australia, which happens to be one of my favorite places to travel.
When you hear about Australia, what comes to mind? Sports, long sandy beaches, the outback, strange birds and animals. This ancient land was once remote and isolated, but now Australia is one of our most exciting travel destinations. Over 30 international airlines bring visitors to this country from all over the world. It's just a few hours of flying time and you touch down at any one of 9 gateway ports. Australia is easy to visit and now more than ever offers a great travel value. There has never been a better time to find out what this land is all about. The good thing about travel and being someplace different is being able to shift gears and do your own thing. Be your own person. In Australia, the choices are as varied as the country itself. Try and escape via four-wheel drive into the outback, or hike the snow-covered mountains of Tasmania. Whatever you choose, Australia has the means to make it happen. Australians are themselves mobile, so the transport systems are easy to use and bring Australia's size into manageable proportions. Whatever your preference, getting around Australia is hassle-free. Camping under the southern skies is good for the soul and the budget. But while the idea may appeal to your sense of adventure, the reality of lodging in Australia ranges in convenience. You can choose basic hostel, interesting country cottage, comfortable motel, or choose from the superstars of excellence. Each Australian city has its own personality to discover, with different places to observe. Most Aussies live in the coastal cities of Hobart, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth. These are large cities that share the water and the sunshine. The lifestyle here is informal and relaxed. Some of the cities are so fun they're labeled tourist towns. Others exist for shipping and trade. For example, Australia has some brilliant crafts. Whether you're window shopping or buying, walking the streets can be full of surprises. Sightseeing has a way of sharpening the appetite. Stop in for lunch with the locals in a bistro, pub, or an elegant restaurant. Good food is an Australian surprise. Fresh produce turns into a memorable menu. The price and quality will delight you. The combination of the great outdoors and the freshly prepared meal is certain to tune up the taste buds. Australia is known around the world for its films, theater, and music. Each city has its own performing arts and attractions. A local newspaper will tell you who's playing where. There are lots of places where you can try your luck and share a tropical meal with musical taste to fit the mood. Australians are great collectors, and the nation's capital, Canberra, houses the treasures for all to share. The emphasis on Australia's own short history is well documented in museums and historic sites. Whatever your hobby or your interest, seek out an Australian connection while you're down under. Traveling Australia reveals all sorts of adventures, whatever your interest. Fishing Tasmanian trout streams is guaranteed to provide good after-dinner stories. Just about every destination the adventurer can dream up is offered in Australia. Skiing is popular, particularly for those who want to try their skills off-season. The Outback is called adventure territory for a lot of reasons. Traveling this land takes time. It's a very big country, probably bigger than you imagine. But don't hurry the experience. Distances are a different scale, and it does take planning to get the most out of your travels. Find out just what trip appeals to your spirit of adventure. On the Great Barrier Reef, new island resorts and water cruises complement the underwater beauty. The touring options are enormous, whether it's the tropics, deserts, big cities, country town beaches, snowfields, holiday resorts. Australia has the perfect ingredients for a great vacation destination. There's only one way to discover Australia, and that's to come and see it for yourself.
Ah, the land down under. Now, if that looks like a great adventure to you, here is a great package that the AAA Travel Agency has put together. Now, think about this. For just $3 more than a round-trip airfare would cost you, you get a package that includes not only the airfare, but also 3 nights in Sydney, 2 nights in Cairns, 3 more nights in Port Douglas, and you have all kinds of sightseeing tours and transfers thrown in. This, of course, is based on per-person double occupancy, and it's only available from February through July of next year. But if it sounds good to you, you should call the AAA Travel Agency. Our hotline number is 1-800-432-1203. And we have travel agents standing by right now to talk with you about the details. And remember, there's no fee to talk with a travel agent, and they'll take care of all of your trip planning for you. Now, here's some interesting information. Ezra Meeker was not only a big Northwest pioneer, but he was also pretty successful in his early life. Old Ezra was known as the king of hops. Funny thing about that was that he didn't drink at all. He was a complete teetotaler. But he did build a big financial empire, and you can too with a little financial advice.
Thanks for coming in. Shopping carefully for the best travel value is very important, but it's just as important to shop for the best value in financial services. Here's an example. Checking accounts. For one of the best values, you want Pacific First Federal's Premium Plus checking account. Let's compare other checking accounts to ours. First, how about the interest that your checking account pays you? Most major banks are paying about 5%. With Premium Plus, you can earn true money market rates, guaranteed. During this past year, Premium Plus has been paying an average of over 7.5%. That means that for every dollar you'd earn with Premium Plus, you'd only earn about 67 cents on the average with most other bank checking accounts. And that word guaranteed is important. This is not just a special teaser rate, but a rate that's guaranteed to track true money market conditions. And of course, you can write as many checks as you wish. What's more, for one low annual fee, Premium Plus checking comes with a valuable package of services. There's a free Visa debit card. It looks like a credit card, but it works like a check. What a great convenience for travelers. You also get unlimited free checking and a personal line of credit. So now, you're ready to shop for an excellent checking value. To find out more about Premium Plus checking, just stop by any Pacific First branch or call us at 1-800-432-1203. We'll be looking forward to your call. Pacific First Federal, how may I help you?
When we come back, you'll want to stay with us because we're going to take you on a tour of the American Southwest. We'll take in the cities and the sunshine. We'll be right back.
Enhance your holiday wardrobe with the Secret Sale at Metropolis 3.
Metropolis.
Save up to 60% on everything in the store.
Everything.
Metropolis 3 women's apparel with attitude, style, and ideas. That's what's in a wardrobe. Metropolis 3. Located at 2318 Northwest Market Street in Ballard. Call Metropolis 3 at 782-6111. And don't tell anyone that the Secret Sale is on now.
The excitement of the Goodwill Games is growing. I'm Wayne Cody, proud to announce that Cairo is supporting the games and urging you to drop by any Earth, the U.S. Bank, for your ticket brochure today.
Ethan Cord. His sights were set on being the best.
Good's got nothing to do with fast.
But he never aimed at becoming a father.
We have Uncle Ethan.
He's been wanted before, but never like this.
I don't have any experience at this.
So he's hanging up his gun to set down some roots.
Families look out for each other.
And to follow his heart.
It's a fresh start for all of us.
To a town called Paradise, Saturdays.
Saturday night has always been a special night. Spend it with Channel 7, watching Saturday Night with Connie Chung at 10 o'clock. You'll pull up a chair. We'll bring you the world. Then stay tuned for the Cairo Weekend News at 11. Together, it's 90 minutes of information you can't get anywhere else, because Cairo is news.
Here's what's happening in Cairo's A World of Difference campaign. November 8th, the World of Difference Interfaith Council plans a religious interfaith weekend celebration. November 9th, the World of Difference Community Coalition plans a forum on school busing in the wake of Initiative 34. November 12th, the World of Difference Youth Coalition practices for an upcoming play dealing with prejudice. Cairo's A World of Difference, part of the spirit of the Northwest.
At the ripe old age of 76, Ezra Meeker began pioneering the Oregon Trail, trying to preserve it for its future. He continued his trips down that trail until 1928, when he died at the age of 96. Old Ezra was a man who believed the West could be won, and it was. Right now, the American Southwest, though, is gaining all kinds of recognition for its history, its culture, its good food. We thought we'd travel tonight to the American Southwest to find out what all the fuss is about.
Phoenix, the capital city of Arizona. This beautiful city began as a small settlement on the banks of Salt River in the mid-1860s. Today, Phoenix is spread outward, filling the north and south end of the valley. Phoenix is known as the Valley of the Sun. Clear skies are guaranteed an average of 212 days a year. No wonder Phoenix has become one of the world's greatest resort areas. Phoenix offers a wide range of recreational activities, such as swimming, golf, and boating. Most of the boating takes place at Lake Pleasant, only 35 miles northwest of Phoenix. Lake Pleasant is one of several man-made lakes. Other sites include the Phoenix City Zoo. This zoo is regarded as outstanding among world zoos. You'll find the zoo in Papago Park between Phoenix and Scottsdale. Because this town is such a popular resort,